Today is a Veterans Day, and because of that, I'm making a video about joining the military. I've talked about eligibility, whether to see if you qualify in terms of citizenship or in terms of education. But this video is going to talk about to join, either should you join the military as active duty military personnel or should you join as a reserve. What are the differences between the two, and which one do you think will be better for you? Based on your situations, which one will you choose? Is there any difference in terms of receiving the benefits in the end? Myself, I served in the U.S. military. I was in the Navy, and I served as active duty military. So I didn't go as a reserve. But I know the differences because I had to look for both active duty and the reserve to choose which one should I go when I was making the decision. The decision which I made to go active basically were fit reasons for me at that particular time. But if now I have to join, I will choose to join as a reserve. So I'm going to give you both aspects of active and reserve, and yourself, you'll be able to make a decision. And especially if you are immigrant, this video will be even better for you to encourage you to make this decision of serving in the U.S. military, the finest on the planet Earth. Welcome everyone, EBM Ernest Boniface Makulilo from Missouri, United States of America. So let me start by showing, I don't know whether we'll be able to see this photo, or I don't know whether we'll be able to see clearly, but that is me while we were in the deployment. I was in the U.S. Navy, active duty. I was stationed at the USS Preble, DDG-88. When we say DDG, is Guided Missile Destroyer, DDG-880 U.S. Preble, and the ship was stationed in the San Diego. But now the home ship is based now in Hawaii, was moved from the from San Diego 32nd Street to Hawaii. That is the home of the DDG-880 USS Preble. So while I was making the decision to join the U.S. military, I was a green card holder. So for that particular case, in order to join the U.S. military, you must either be a green card holder, a permanent resident of the United States of America, or a U.S. citizen. So don't me ask the question that, can I join the military while I'm outside the country? You cannot, even if you are a U.S. citizen outside the country, you cannot join. If you are a citizen of another country, you cannot join unless otherwise you are a permanent resident of the United States or the U.S. citizen inside the U.S. territory, because you have to go to the recruiting station to do the processing to join the U.S. military. That's number one. Number two, that is quick about age. Each branch has their own age requirement. I think Marine is 29, Navy, Army, 35, Air Force, I think they increased it to 37 to be able to join. In order to join, you can join as enlisted or officer. In order to be an officer, you must, among other things, you must have two things. Number one, you have to have a degree minimum, bachelor degree minimum going up, and you must be a U.S. citizen. If you have a degree, you are not a U.S. citizen, you are a green card holder, you will join as enlisted, or wait until you become a U.S. citizen to join as an officer. Myself, I had a master's degree, but I was not a U.S. citizen. I could wait until I become a U.S. citizen to join as an officer, but I didn't want to wait longer, so I joined as enlisted. I became a U.S. citizen, and he started the processing to become an officer. Everything went well, but I got out before I started to become intel officer. So you can also do change from enlisted to become a commissioned officer within the military while you were there. If you are a green card holder, you are given the opportunity. It's up to you. if you want to become a U.S. citizen while you are in the military basic training, which we call boot camp, you'll be given opportunity to become a U.S. citizen. I advise you to take that opportunity. Myself, I became a U.S. citizen while I was in the basic training. On the 3rd week, I took the test, the citizenship test. On the 6th week, I took the oath of citizenship. Took that one. I gave back my credit, my card, the green card. They gave me the citizenship certificate, or the naturalization certificate. I was given that one. So you have the opportunity, that one. You don't pay for any fees. But if you don't take the citizenship right away, you go out, you apply on your own, you will get citizenship on your own. The other process will be able to follow, and you'll pay, I believe. I'm not so sure about that, but I believe you might pay if you don't take the opportunity while you are in the military at that particular time. So when I was making the decision, you can go as reserve or active duty. In a very layman civilian language, active duty, it means you are active. It means it's full-time job. It means you are 100% government property. That's the meaning. It means when you finish the basic military training, the duty station where you are going to be stationed will depend on the need of the military. If it's the need of the Navy, the need of the Army, the need of the Air Force, Marines, that will be their need. You'll be stationed according to what they want. Yes, you'll be given what we call the dream sheet, the paper where you are writing, I want to be stationed, you are choosing the dream places you want to go, Hawaii, San Diego, Virginia, whatever you put there, but they might not take you any of those areas. They will put where they think it is appropriate for them to put you based on their needs. So that's number one you need to know. So the location is based on the government decision or military strategic reasons. Number two, you'll be working full-time, just like any other job. It means every single day, while you are going to work, you have to be in the real uniform, starting from shaving, doing everything. There are those kind of things. There are so many requirements as a military. For instance, if you have, let's say, DUI, driving under influence, your case is higher because you are 100% military. I will talk about the reserve, but you'll be fully accountable on that particular situation. Yes, you have a leave, 30 days, whatever, in a year. Depending on, you take maybe 1 week here, whatever. But when you take the leave, you have to coordinate with your supervisors, petty officer and the chief, whatever, if you're enlisted with the officer, whatever. They have to process to approve your leave based on the need. You cannot just ask the leave during the time of the deployment. There are certain times they say you can be able to take around this time, is seeing the needs and the critical mission at that particular time. So that is when you are full-time. When you are full-time, you will be having the full-time benefits. Meaning, if you are E5 and above, even if you are single, you will be given the housing money. If you are E1 to E4, you have a family, you will be given the money for housing. Depending on the location, the money will differ. The zip code, the cost of living of the area. For instance, in San Diego, I got paid $1,885 to $2,000 around per month for housing. If you are single and from your E1 to E4, you live into special barracks, whatever places where you'll be able to live. You'll be paid for that. I mean, not cash direct, will be given the room to stay. Again, if you are full-time, you are active duty, you'll be having full-time 100% health coverage. That is another benefit. And you'll be able to start utilizing your education benefits right away. After boot camp and after advanced training, you have been there for more than 90 days, you are allowed, if you're active duty, you are allowed to start using your education benefits, I think, right away. And within a short time, you are allowed to get, like, if you're active duty, you are also allowed to get the housing right away, I think. But within a year, obviously, I believe so. I don't remember exactly after what time you are going to get those benefits. But if you are reserve, this is how it is. You are a part-time, even less than part-time. You don't work every single day in the military wearing the uniform every single day. In a month, you work 2 days, and those days will be on a weekend. So you have your normal job. Let's say you work as an IT specialist at the Apple company. So you are working as a civilian, you can have your dreads, you can do whatever you want. But 2 days in a month, you'll be going, we call the drilling. You'll be going as active duty. You'll be going to work full-time 2 days in a month on a weekend. So on those 2 days, obviously the day you wear a uniform, you have to appear with the grooming and everything like any other military, because that day you are a military personnel. So for the military, we say just reserve in general, but Army Reserve, they don't like to use the word reserve, they use the word National Guard. So when you hear the word National Guard in this video, is also to mean reserve. Army Reserve is National Guard. Navy Reserve, you could just say reserve. Whatever, Air Force Reserve, you can be a reserve. So because you are part-time, because you work 2 days in a month, you are allowed to choose whatever state you want to go to live. So you finish your basic training and you are from Missouri, you come to live in Missouri. If you are from California, you can go to live in California. If you are from Virginia, go to Virginia. If you are from New York, you can go to live in your own state. And maybe you live in that state, you get another job to go to North Carolina, you can move from one state to another state. There is no requirement like active duty where you have to live where the need of the mission, they say you have to go to San Diego on this particular base. This you go to live in your own house, whatever it is, you are continuing with your life. But when you move to that particular state, those 2 days, almost each place, there will be a base. If you are the Navy Reserve, yes, there is no ship. There is no ship here, for instance, in Missouri. But you will go to work into the joint base like Army base. So they will coordinate you to be going those 2 days to work in the Army base. Or if there is Air Force base, you will be able to do those 2 days in that particular area. And the only time, other time you'll be able to work as a full-time, you work for 3 to 4 months straight as a full-time is during the summer. The time of the summer, maybe from May to August going to September, around that time, you'll be able to work full-time in the military. During that time you are working as a full-time, don't worry, your job is still there. If you are working at the hospital, if you are working at Walmart, if you are working at Starbucks, if you are working at IBM or whatever company you are working with, the job will continue to be there. It is a federal regulation that any person working as a reserve at the time is called to work as a full-time during that particular summer. There is a military assignment. That particular job will still be, you are not going to be paid because you are being paid full-time at the time. You will be paid by the military. For that particular case, you will not be able paid by that, but the job will be still there. If employer fires you because you are going for the what you call drilling, you are going to drill with the military as a reserve, that company, they can be verified, even being closed for violation of the most important federal regulation. And most companies here in the US prefer and they are happy to hire veterans and also people who are in reserve, because that way they think and it is a prestige that we are doing something for our country. So don't worry that I'll be losing my job. But you are not, while you are working the other job as a civilian, you are not going to be paid full time while you are not working. So the day you are going to work, those 2 days in a month, you'll be paid those 2 days. If the 3 months of the summer, 4 months of the summer, you are going to work there, every single day you'll be able to be working there, you'll be paid. So if you have a family, you also going to be given the money for housing. The medical will be covering the full time where you are doing that particular time. But the day you are off, like the full 28 days, you are not going to be paid, you are not going to be covered for insurance. So you'll be using your work insurance or your personal insurance. So those are the differences you need to know between active and reserve. And yes, you'll be able to do deployment. But your deployment also like the same during that particular summer, maybe you can do deployment. Still, your job will continue to be there. Don't worry about that. Another important thing is if you go to the basic training, you do the military training the same as other active duty. There is no difference. You wear the same uniform. And if you are immigrant, you are green card holder, you want to become a citizen, you will become a citizen in boot camp. Myself, I was with one guy who's from Ghana. That guy became a citizen right away, but was a reserve. And then from there, he continued to be a reserve. Up to today, he's still a reserve. There is a contract duration is different. In most cases, there are very few jobs are different. But in most cases, the first contract of enlistment is 4 years. But the first contract for the reserve is 6 years. That is the difference between the two. And if you are reserve, down the road you want to convert to become full-time active duty, there is a process, I think, to do that. And you don't need to go to do another basic training. So there is a way to convert, I think so. The benefits like education, the benefits like buying the house, you get the same, but you don't get it right away because you are days, because you have to work at least a certain number of days to be considered to get the VA home loan. For instance, in order to get a VA home loan, you are supposed to work at least, I think, 90 days after basic training, I think, something like that. I don't remember. So if you finish training and you are going to work 2 days in a month and you are supposed to have, let's say, like 90 days, obviously you cannot buy the home right away. But if you're active duty, within the first half a year, 6 months, you will be eligible because you meet eligibility to be a veteran. But you are still working as active duty, so you can get the VA home loan if you want. So there is a certain time how long you have to wait to be able to eligible to be able to get the house or to buy a home through a VA home loan. So why did I join direct as active duty at that particular time? And I can advise you to join as active duty, and I'll also advise you to join as to make a decision to go as a reserve. If you want to join as active, the best part is a full-time job, and especially if you are brand new here, you are a green card holder. That is a good opportunity. If you join as a green card holder, you become a citizen right away. And you get a full-time job instead of starting working at the warehouse for 2 years to find another good job. You are starting direct is a federal job. 4 years. If you want to continue, you can continue from there. Is a direct, a federal job with a very good benefit from day one, the respected job. That's number one. You will get a good salary. While you go to work full-time, for the other job, if you work 8 hours every single other job, you get $15, $18. You make $2,500 per month. But if you join in the military, let's say you are married, you'll be making about $4,000, $5,000 in a month, because you'll be paid for the money for the housing, you'll be paid your salary, you'll be paid the money for food, and obviously the uniform is on annual basis. But if you are speaking certain languages, you get extra money for the language. So you can make $4,000 to $5,000, and it's a good job which you can use to find another job. From when you finish military, you go on civilian world, it is easier to get a very good job, saying that you are a veteran. That's a big reason. You will get a very good education benefits right away. If you want to buy a house from the first year, you can arrive in America the first year, join the military, serve in the military, become a U.S. citizen, build your credit, and get a house right away, if you want. That's advantage. But another person say, I have a very good background in IT. Or let's say I'm registered nurse. I don't want to, if I go to work full-time in military, they don't give me money I want my own freedom. So join as reserve. Meaning, you will still become a U.S. citizen, you will still get the VA loan, still get the education benefits, and you are civilian, basically. Exception 2 days in a month, you go to work, plus 3 months in a year, you go as full-time military during the summertime, but still your job is still there. You finish that, you come there, you continue with your own life. And you can live any state you want. So, depending on where you are right now, for some people who are brand new, it's okay to join direct as full-time. But if you've been here for a while and you want just to get those benefits only, you can just join as a reserve. So look at these two, which one works for you. For instance, right now, if I have to join me at the current state, I would prefer to join as reserve because I have other things, I can have good job. But if you're an immigrant, you are brand new, that might be tough. But again, even if you're American, born and raised here, you have to look, why do you want to save? Just benefits, or also you want to offer your service to the greatest country on the planet Earth? If that is the case, do you want to continue to keep your job right now, or what? So in the end, the respect as a veteran when you finish your service will be the same. Whether you did the active, whether you did your reserve, for me, I'll give the same respect. There is no a person say, oh, to be active is hard. Yeah, I mean, yes, there is hard part of being active because it's every single day, you are full-time there. But still, the other person went through the same training like you. If you're going to count the time, because that's why they have more years than you. I have 4 years, they have 6 years. But if you count, yes, we work for many days more than the other one. But in the end, they have done deployment, they have done certain work, the same or similar sacrifices like the other person. So think about these two and make an informed decision. Which one do you prefer? Active duty or reserve? But in the end, you are going to have good benefits. And when you get out as a veteran, you will have the opportunity to get good jobs because all the companies prefer and give higher priority to people who served in the military as veterans at the moment. Thank you so much, and thank you for your service in advance if you had the opportunity to serve in the military.